Old Todd Terrell Nolan was face down, still fully clothed on the beach. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. He was face down, which would have meant that he drowned. Now, when we say he was found fully clothed on the beach, it was in the same vicinity of where he possibly drowned.
Now, TMZ, I've been giving y'all the side eye throughout this entire Nolan Wells investigation because of how y'all been reporting things. But now I'm starting to notice a pattern.
What doesn't make sense is why would they, if they had something, if there'd been foul play and something happened to Nolan or someone did something to Nolan on that boat, why would they be talking about it loudly while he's on the phone to a tow company?
Y'all keep pushing headlines that say that he drowned and there's no cause of death that has been made clear to us. But why are you not questioning why the tow was canceled? Why are you not questioning why they went to Fort Bayou before they went back to the original place where they left and then back to Fort Bayou?
Joe Scott, you're
Yes,
giving
ma'am.
me so much information. Let me tell everybody, if they don't know who you are, why you're here tonight. Okay? Joe Scott Morgan is a death investigator. He has investigated over 10,000 death scenes of all natures. You've only got a few choices. You've got homicide, suicide, accident, natural causes like a heart attack, and unexplained. Tonight, we've got 2 unexplained medical examiner's reports.
Yeah.
Why? We don't have the lungs in a potential drowning case. Why? We don't have the neck in a potentially, as you said, throttling case. Why?
Yeah.
Those are the 2 main things I want to see. Joe Scott Morgan, professor of forensics, Jacksonville State University, with a world-class criminal procedure department. I've toured it myself.
One of the things you're trying to assess is, was this a drowning? Also, is there any kind of trauma? If people will just put their hands right here in the midline of your neck, you'll feel that kind of cartilaginous body there. That's cartilage, right? That can be fractured. Need I remind you, Epstein, right? So you have to examine this. Also, here's our word, Nancy. They're talking about the hyoid is missing as well. So they don't have that.
Show
They've
me
retained-
Joe Scott Morgan, because show me Joe Scott. You and I, hyoid, we know what it is because you and I have handled a ton of asphyxiation, ligature, manual strangulations, you name it. Hyoid, explain. So delicate.
Yes. Yeah, and it's very, very far up the neck, Nancy. And one of the things that happens is that with the hyoid, it's generally only traumatized as a result of direct pressure that's generally applied by a throttling event or a C-clamp like this, throttling meaning like this, so manual strangulation. And an outlier here is ligature strangulation, but primarily hands-on. So they're looking for little fractures in here all along the way. So that has to be dissected, along with these other, there's a couple of other structures that you look at as well. They've held on to this for some reason. I don't have the answer for that, but I can tell you it's being preserved. I don't know if they're getting further consultation on their end, that is the state.
The main thing I want to see, the lungs and the neck. And they're both missing. I have a problem.
Well, I don't know that the lungs are necessarily missing. Let me tell you how this works. They have done sections of the lungs at the ME's office in Mississippi. Now, the one thing that is included in this report relative to the second autopsy that's been released is that the doctor here, who is a fantastic doctor, highly credentialed, knows what he is doing, former chief medical examiner for DC, he is stating that he has taken tissue samples. He repeats this over and over again in the report. He submitted this for his own histology. Why is that important? Well, if you get into the lungs, that lung tissue, and he can identify it even in it, I'm going to be real graphic here, it arrived in a bag, okay? So he would have to pick through this, find lung tissue in there, and then sample that, and he's going to be looking microscopically for signs of drowning there, and he'll make his own assessment. One of the things I'm concerned about, Nancy, and I hope that they did this down in Mississippi, is that when they do this initial examination, did they do diatom testing, which is you're looking for these little bits of algae that are distinct to both freshwater and saltwater. And if you find that within the system, that's also an indication that the individual may have been submerged and taken on water. So right now we've got a lot of questions, but as the second doctor says, this is all still pending investigation.
Happened with the cell phone thing. So let's go back to the first engagement you had when it comes to the family or somebody coming back to get the cell phone and keys. When did that occur, and what happened there?
Okay, well, that night, about 12:30, I went back to my buddy's house.
And you said the night of the 4th?
The night of the 4th, but it was about 12:30, I would like to say. And so I went back to my buddy's house. I stayed the night before, where we all met up, you know, and stayed together the night before. And my buddy got a call from this guy, and the guy was like, oh, like, you know, like, what's going on with all this Nolan stuff? Very aggravated. I mean, yeah, every right to be, but I mean, we were trying to calm him down, and like, he was just like, oh, like, where y'all at? My buddy said, you know, we're at my buddy's house, and he said, all right, and then he just hung up. And so about 30 minutes later, I'd like to say, all of a sudden the door just got open and slammed, and there was a girl who walked in, and like probably about 8 or 9 guys behind her, and then another mom, which was Javon's mom. And
who's Javon? I want to put that in perspective. Who is Javon?
Javon is one of Nolan's good friends. He's a friend of mine too, you know, like, great guy. And his mom and their family is, you know, very close to, you know, the Wells family. And I mean, so I don't know why she was there, like what was going on, but I was very surprised by this. I was like, you know, like, you just basically like kicked the door open and, you know, bust up in the house with no knock or anything.
So is Javon black or white?
Javon's mixed. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I guess he's mixed.
Yeah.
So, but he's not white.
You know, he's not white.
Just
not
white.
Yeah.
Or all white, I guess you might call it.
Yeah.
So then they come in the house. Do you know any of these people?
I know some of the guys.
the mom, but do you know anybody else?
I've seen the mom before, and I know most of them. Most of the guys went to high school with me. Like, I'm friends with some of the guys. I mean, you know, I know some of them. So eventually, like, things started to get heated, and I was just like, a guy I was like, you know, friends with in high school, he was like, man, come outside with me. And I was like, all right. And I walked outside with him. He was like, man, I don't know why, like, they're panicking, and, you know, like, this is just, like, I think Nolan's just on somebody's couch. He's been drinking all day. He's just messed up, and, you know, this is nothing that we have to worry about. And as much as, you know, I sat there and I told him, I was like, you know, I agree. I would think, you know, he's on somebody's couch, just had been drinking all day and just, you know, drank too much and was super intoxicated. And, you know, that's kind of what a lot of us thought, but they were kind of losing it, and they were going crazy. And the mom that was with them demanded Nolan's phone, because Nolan left the phone on the boat. And when we ran in, Nolan didn't ask for his phone, and his keys were not on the boat, because his car was parked at my buddy's house, where we had all slept, you know, the night before the 4th. And so the keys were left at the house, because Nolan's car was at my buddy's house where we stayed at. So of course he left his keys there. But his phone, I mean, he was drinking. He didn't have his phone in the water because no one did. And I mean, there was more than just Nolan's phone that wasn't on the boat with us.
So it was more than just Nolan's phone that was on the boat?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously had all our phones, but on the boat. But those weren't the only people. Like, Nolan wasn't the only person that left a phone on the boat. There was a lot of people that left phones on the boat, not, you know, that didn't ride out or in with us. So I mean, there was a couple phones that we had that we didn't know who they belonged to, and my buddies got that figured out, you know. But it wasn't just Nolan's phone that, you know, was on the boat that who wasn't there. You know, there was a lot of phones.
So when they barged in, they started getting frantic. The mom asked for Nolan's phone.
Right.
Was there a struggle over it, or did you guys hand it over?
I mean, just handed it over. I mean, we didn't think anything of it. Like, you know, she asked for Nolan's phone. We knew they were close friends with, you know, the Wells family, and my buddy went out to his truck and handed the phone over. No complications, no issue, you know, nothing.
It took about 15 minutes to get the phone, because I even asked, I'm like, did y'all have to walk back to Horn Island to get the phone, or like, where's the phone? Because it took so long when they said when Wyatt told me it was in his truck. it took him so long to get the phone back to me.
And when that mom came over and asked for it, there was no issue at all with us giving the phone to her. I mean, Nolan just left it on the boat. We handed the phone to her that night of the 4th of July.
And they brought the phone back.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Dashima. I want to hear that.
When they brought the phone, after I said something about it, he was like, well, she's going to get it. I was like, who's going to get it? He's like, the girl's going to get the phone.
Say that you guys just left Nolan behind. I've seen reports of people saying that you just left him. I see reports of people saying that you asked him to get on the boat. You told him to get on the boat, he didn't. What's the truth in that?
Well, Wyatt was having boat issues and the bilge wouldn't pump. So the bilge is basically a pump that releases water from your boat when water comes in. So I opened the back hatch and there's water up to the batteries. And that is obviously not good. There's water almost coming over the transom, which is where your motors sit and which is by the stern, like in the back part of the boat. So obviously we were in emergency. The boat, we're trying to save the boat. It's not like we didn't ask Nolan or we just left Nolan. Nolan decided to stay on the island with the girl that he was with. And the girl is a witness to that too.
Yeah.
So the boat went to Fort Bayou right after Nolan died on the boat, right? Now let me see who the fuck lives up in Fort Bayou. Oh my God, is that Bart's house? In Fort Bayou with a little boat launch docking area? Oh my God. I wonder if that is the same Bart that lives in Fort Bayou. Oh, according to Bart, he's been in Wyoming and hasn't been in Pass Christian over a year. But does that say that an involved entity was Bart Edmondson Jr.? I'm so confused as to how he could be in Wyoming and Mississippi at the same time.
We're all freaking out. All of our, we're not focused on anything else other than the boat. Well then, eventually, my buddy Bart on the tide line is like, I'm gonna pull y'all out. Eventually, Bart pulls us out. We left at 4:30, but we really weren't pulled out away from everybody. We were probably about a quarter mile out, and we had the towing strap.
How long was it before you realized, or you guys realized that, well, where's Nolan at?
I mean, I went back downstairs and all my friends were just hanging out, and my buddy Wyatt had addressed, talking about Nolan, and I was like, well, where is Nolan? Have y'all heard from him? And he was like, no, we haven't. And I was like, okay, well, it's a little concerning.
He said his mother knew. I told her, yes, Andrew was trying to keep us quiet and trying to put fear into us because he's bigger than all of us. But Wyatt and Andrew and Evan was jumping him. After Evan's mom threatened to call the cops on everybody to leave her house, everybody left, but no didn't. He wanted his phone.
They were all gone at 4:30. They were all gone. And they told Nolan to get on the boat, he didn't. And then there was a report of somebody seeing Nolan around 6:30-ish.
We're going and getting on the boat and looking for him. And I was like, okay, yeah. So I got my buddy Ricky, I got my buddy Brooks, I got my buddy Jax. My mom came on the boat with my stepdad and I, and we all went out there and looked.
All right, how many adults and children on board?
No, there's no children.
Oh, is there anybody on board? How many adults, sir? That was the question.
Hey,
hello, can you hear me?
Better jump in and pull the plug, Bart, while you're going. Hello.
Yep, I just need you to answer these questions so I can get you over to the captain.
Okay,
how many adults on board?
There's 0 adults on board.
There's nobody on board the boat?
No. Nobody here is over the age of 21.
Sir, that was not the question. Is there a person? Is there a person, a living individual on the boat?
Yes, there's lots of people breathing on the boat.
All right, how many people, sir?
Like 7.
All right, thank you. All right, please hold. I'm transferring you to the local captain now.
With all this stuff going on, and you knew Nolan very well, what do you think how Nolan would feel about how this all has transpired with Benjamin Crump, with the statements from his mom, with the accusations against you and his other friends? How would you think he would address this or feel about this?
Well, I know people like to use the term, they would turn over in his grave. If Nolan could dig himself out of his grave right now, he would. No doubt. Nolan would be livid is an understatement. Nolan would never want anything pursued this way at all. I think he would be really upset with his parents about how they went about the situation. I think he generally would. I don't think he wouldn't support it. I know that for 110%. I know he wouldn't support any of it. I think he would want the truth and he would search for answers, but he wouldn't go about it like this. He wouldn't let us get dogged out like this. If Nolan could have spoke up, he would have already said something about our friend group and saying, yo, y'all are on the wrong path. Generally speaking, he would be mad. Like, he would be mad. And I don't understand how people don't see that and how people are just okay with even some of his, I guess you could say, other best friends, man, how they were coming out and how they're acting behind it. I was like, man, Nolan was never like that. Nolan was an aggressive, threatening person. Don't get me wrong, Nolan would defend himself if he needed to defend himself. Nolan was loving and kind.
Do you think Benjamin Crump being involved in this case made it better or worse?
100,000 times% worse. Because why on the Tuesday after, where has your civil rights been broken? Where has it been shown? You brought Benjamin Crump to stir up a community that's already tight-knit. For them to push this narrative and really push it just shows me is like you have no idea who you're dealing with or who you're messing with. I think he's taking the grieving parents and manipulating and turning this and making it sound all bad, because nothing's like that. But I promise, if you're talking about Ocean Springs as a whole, Ocean Springs is going to have Ocean Springs back.